guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you clicked on the link, then you are clearly interested in what it takes to basically finding your first tarot deck. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the video because I have 6 different things to cover and I don't want to take too long. So number 1, the best thing that I can say is keep it simple. There are so many different tarot decks. There are, hundreds of tarot decks. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put probably like a little slide right here next to me or even right over my face. Basically me just going to Amazon and showing you on the first 2 pages how many different tarot decks there are, and that was only on the first 2 pages. So when you're looking, I know that some tarot readers or some people, like if you go to a healing store or to even a bookstore or a crystal store, something that would actually have tarot decks, if you ask the employees, they're going to tell you to find what you are drawn to. But what I can say is I would highly recommend starting out with a deck that is going to be simple, in a sense of closer to what is considered the original deck, which is the Rider-Smith tarot deck. It has the images and the colors and I guess everything that you think of when you think of tarot cards. The second thing that I would say is choose what you're drawn to, okay? When you go to a store or even if you're on Amazon, I would highly recommend actually going into the store in person for finding your first deck. They won't have as many options as they do online, but the reason that I say go in person is because you're actually able to pick up the box, you're actually able to turn it around, you're actually able to read all 4 sides. Some stores may actually have open decks that you can open and actually look at the cards right there rather than waiting until you get home to open them. I know that that's not all of them, but I have found a couple of stores in my area where if I'm not understanding or if I would like to see the deck before purchasing, they will actually open it for me and let me see, or they can pull one out from behind the counter, or they may have that deck themselves on hand with them that I'd be able to see. So it doesn't hurt to actually ask the store if you can open up the package to see the cards and to see the guidebook. The third thing that I would say is when you are choosing a deck, I would not get just any deck that you find just because it's pretty. Like I said, choose what you're drawn to, but at the same time, because you are new to tarot, I would highly recommend finding a tarot deck that comes with a guide book. If you don't know what that means, it's literally just what it sounds like. You'll have the tarot deck, but then inside the box, when you open it, right behind the box, there'll be like a little book the same size as the cards that you can flip through, and it'll give you a brief description of the card meaning upright and reversed and just a little bit of background into that card. It will also give you some common spreads. I know that for my first tarot deck, I think it gave me like 8 different spreads, and they were the most common spreads, or at least easy to read or to start off with. Is choose the size that you think is going to work best for you. They have different sizes, okay? So they have sizes that are just similar to like a playing deck of cards. They have some that are kind of like a little bit tinier than my palm, so they're rather big, but they're still very manageable. And then you have the ones that are large, right? That are bigger than your palm. Not quite as big as a sheet of paper, but it's pretty large. Now, usually what I have found is that people that use the really large cards, they use them when they are doing a spread for other people because it's easier for the other people to see, or they're using it for recording purposes. So like videoing what I'm doing right now, it's easy for the camera to pick up on all of the intricate details that may be in the card, if that makes sense. Now, when you're shuffling cards, which there's no wrong way to shuffle the cards, it can be easier, especially if you're a first time user or you're a beginner in tarot, to get the deck that is kind of similar to the size of a deck of cards, because your hands are able to shuffle the cards a lot easier rather than trying to learn or to fumble with a bigger deck. Option 5 is I would definitely get something of quality. I'm not saying you need to get the most expensive tarot deck that there is in the world, but I am saying that you should probably do a little bit of research. So that's why I was huge in saying, like, I would physically go to the store and I would inspect the cards yourself, or I would ask the store manager or associate if you're able to open it up and see the cards, or if they have anything that they're able to open and show you, possibly behind the counter, or some that they have themselves. Obviously, with so many different tarot decks and so many different artists, they can easily get cards that are flimsy or even paper. So if they get wet, which I don't know why they would get wet, but in the off chance that they do, if something spills on them, they can warp, or they're easily bendable. So you want to get something of good quality, so that way you know it's going to last, you know it's not going to bend easily, and it can last you a while you're getting used to the cards. And plus, when you're shuffling, depending on how you shuffle, you won't have to worry about your cards bending in half while you're trying to shuffle. I know that sounds crazy, but in all reality, quality is going to be really good for you to choose your deck. When I said do the research, obviously I keep saying this, I would highly recommend going in person for your first deck to a store rather than buying online. But if you would like to buy online, you are more than welcome to. There are so many different options. I'm gonna put a few on the screen. You have cats, you have Halloween, you have the traditional Rider-Smith, you have the Light of Seers, which is my favorite deck that I currently own. You also have Harry Potter, you have mermaids, any genre that you can possibly think of. I'm pretty sure they have a Family Guy tarot deck out there. Not being funny, but if you Google it or if you look on Amazon, I am fairly certain that you can find it. So this also circles back around to pick a deck that you're drawn to, but also do your research. Make sure that you're looking at the reviews, you're looking at the negative comments. I myself would much rather read the negative comments than the positive ones, because the negative ones are going to tell me what's wrong with the deck. So it could be that it was a cheap manufacturer, so the cards are not the same size, they could be a little bit off. The cutting press may not have cut the cards all the way, so they're lopsided. There's a lot of different things. So make sure that you are doing the research to ensure that you're getting a good quality deck, because that is going to be crucial when it is time for you to begin reading or learning how to read tarot, because you don't want to have to fumble with cards that are messed up because it's just poor quality, or the image is not coming through clearly because it's fuzzy due to the printer. Highly recommend you go in person. They do have tarot decks at Walmart, Barnes and Noble, what is it? Obviously Amazon, but you can't go in person. I'm pretty sure you can find them at Target. You can probably find them at Books A Million. You can go to any of your local healing or meditation stores or crystal stores, anywhere that holds any type of crystal or anything to smudge your house with, like sage. You will more than likely find tarot decks, and if you don't, you can probably talk to the people who physically work there and they will be able to point you in the right direction. It doesn't hurt to ask. If you're curious about this, please ask any questions. Otherwise, pop into a store. They're super nice. The energy is amazing, and I think that you will rather enjoy the experience being in person, because you'll be able to ask the questions that you might have before really, you know, going through and buying your first deck. They may be able to give you a little bit more guidance than what I was able to give you, in a sense of what they would recommend for you, depending on your lifestyle and what it is, what your intentions are with tarot. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to comment below, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video.